Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today we are gonna be recapping the price action from Thursday, May 28th, where I took quite a lot of trades and I ended up taking this really nice 5.26 R trade, which was taken with half size. So overall on the day I'm up really close to R, like 1.95, so let's call it 2R. So let's jump from the daily chart. So from the daily chart, we closed pretty undecisively the previous day. It was SMT with the previous day high on YM, and we had also this PSP. So I was a bit conflicted in that. And also, if we look, I think it was, yeah, so on the 4-hour chart, we can see that we have CISD'd below this 2 a.m. 4-hour candle from yesterday. So I was expecting at least some bearishness, maybe down to this Tuesday low, or the very least these previous days lows, because you can see that we have quite a aggressive move down on the 1-hour chart, closing below these consecutive up close candles. So because if you've watched the previous day's recap, basically the whole New York session just chopped around. I was expecting just coming into 18 o'clock, we had this range like this. So we had this high and this low that we were just consolidating in between. So in between this high and this low. And when we took out the high of the consolidation right before closing, and at 18 o'clock, we just made a shallow move up, and then we started displacing to the downside. So my idea was, I'm just gonna take a half risk trade, basically down to the other side of the consolidation. And this was a pretty good trade in my opinion, because the only thing I maybe could have gotten wrong was that if you can just watch the 15-minute candles, I kind of pre-fired it. On the 3-minute chart, we had this really nice candle closing below this sequence of up close candles. So this was the bearish order block, and I basically took an entry in this Ferrari gap right here with my stop on the high. And I don't know, we didn't have any news for the whole day, and right when I entered, we had news. Yeah, US bombed Iran again. So I got stopped out basically to the tick. And then let me exit replay. And then we basically started going to the downside pretty heavily. I would have gotten stopped break even because my break even point was this low. So this retracement would have stopped me out. But nonetheless, the idea behind the trade was pretty good in my opinion, just trading from this extreme of the consolidation to the other extreme. So pretty good idea there. And then coming into the morning, I've seen that we have displaced below this consolidation, and we were drawing back into 50% of it. So I don't know, just even though we had this daily profile where we just opened low, I really wanted to see these lows get taken, because they were taken on all of the other assets. YM wasn't showing any signs of stopping, so it was definitely failing to manipulate these lows. So I was thinking, okay, now it's time for NQ to catch up to YM. And we have this PSP here with SMT, and my trade was basically taking this. So we had this was 5 o'clock, so 5 o'clock took the previous hour's high and then started displacing to the downside. And I entered with my stop on this high because if you take a look on this 1 minute chart, it was a high resistance high because it has taken this short-term high and then displaced through the sequence of up-close candles, validating this as our bearish order block. So I was expecting this high to hold, not needing to put my stop above here. So I took this with half size again down to these really nice equal lows. And once we crossed this low, I put my stop to break even. And as you can see, I got stopped out. Pretty unfortunate. And then I just waited for the New York session. And right when we opened, we were in a pretty significant decoupling where NQ was just dumping. So the first move was actually NQ going up and YM going down. So YM was going to the downside, basically taking all of this liquidity that I wanted to see NQ take and all of these lows that, I mean, it was showing a failure to manipulate initially, but then just displacing right through them just made me think that this was, it was initially manipulating them by this week, but then just displacing through them. It was telling me that it was failing to manipulate them. So I was trading the lagging asset down to the lows. And my idea was that I'm going to wait for all of the assets to synchronize and I'm going to take NQ to the downside because we had SMT at the highs. So this was a strength switch for NQ to catch up to YM, and I think also ES with these lows. No, so only with YM down to these lows that were made from midnight. And I basically entered when we crossed. So when we closed below these two up close candles, and we were also inside, I think, a 15-minute inversion. So we closed below this bullish fair value gap pretty significantly, and then I wanted to see this C3 just open and basically distribute to the downside. And as you can see, we closed back above it. So that really told me that we are not going to go lower anymore. And NQ is the leader to the upside because it has shown immense strength. And YM was just catching up to NQ. So I entered with my entry was just on that 15-minute fair value gap that we inverted. So we got below it and then back up again. So this was my confirmation here at the 10:08 candle. And then I put my limit basically at the edge of the fair value gap with my stop on this 10 o'clock candle. So I didn't want to see price go below this candle. And I got lucky with the news. So news stopped me out early in the day. But then I was on side with the news and we had this really nice pump. Once we crossed this high and all of these highs, I put my stop to break even. And I was just watching the trade run. And I don't know if I would have gotten involved anywhere here because this was just a grindy session. We were just slowly but surely going up and nothing really happened from there. So we just had this pump and slow grind up and that's pretty much it. So yeah, this was a pretty weird day. I mean, this New York delivery was to be expected after this really nice pre-market and pre-midnight actually. So Asian session, really nice delivery. And yeah, this is going to be it, guys. If you enjoyed these types of recaps, please don't hesitate to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.